Hey everyone, Shnickerman here, back with another video. I know it's been a while. That's the subject matter of this video. I haven't posted a video in about 1 month, and I haven't been gaming as much, and now let me tell you why. So, the last year has been a little bit more time consuming from other parts of my life since January. From January up until very recently, I've actually been looking into buying a house, which I mentioned, I think, in the fall or so, on how I was trying to raise extra money from the game collection. So the good news is that I was approved to get a house, and we got a house. So that's good news. So if any of you have looked for a house, it's way more time consuming than you'd ever imagine. You have to waste a lot of time driving around, going to open houses, and doing a lot of research. So for most of the month, I was doing those things in my free time outside of my job, and so I just didn't have a lot of time to do any gaming, or just didn't feel as much in the mood. So that's number one. And then number two is I had some visitors. My wife's parents were visiting for a while, and they were here all the time in our apartment. So just didn't really leave me a lot of time to say, oh, I'm going to go over here and do this. So generally, I took almost a month off of gaming to the same extent that I would normally game. And I'm okay with that. And now that things are kind of back to the way they were previously, I've been picking up some things here and there, so I will start to talk about it. But I think one thing that I realized is that there may be stressful times in your life, or times when you maybe don't have as much free time, but everything comes back around, and stressful parts of your life and important parts of your life will always come up, and then gaming will always be there for you when you come back. And I think that's a pretty good message to kind of think about. So let's maybe kick things off this week with the game that I'm passionate about. This one I brought up, so this is Rare Replay, but I'm kind of cheating a little bit here. But I'm going to say, like, Banjo-Kazooie, for example. The first Banjo-Kazooie game was a really fun game for me. I didn't play on the N64. I actually played the Xbox 360, Xbox Live Arcade game version. And I had a lot of fun with it. It was kind of my type of game. I hadn't played a lot of like collectathon type games. I played Mario 64 a little bit here and there, didn't own a 964. But I ended up just really liking the genre, and I think that kind of follows through my love of gaming in the future. I always like to look at collectibles and things like that. And then now that gaming has expanded into open world, you know, the limits are kind of almost endless, and there's tons of open world stuff you can do. So I got a little bit burned out on it, but original Banjo-Kazooie is a really fun game. I would really hope that maybe someday it'll get like a remake similar to like Spyro or Crash, because I think it really deserves it. And I think adding new quality of life changes to Banjo-Kazooie could be really interesting, and kind of polish it for a new generation to enjoy. So that's one. Banjo-Kazooie will always be a very near and dear franchise to my heart. And actually, like, that brings up a second topic that I didn't even think about talking about. But in the Xbox 360 PS3 era, especially with Xbox, in my opinion, they had the Xbox Live Arcade, which you had digital games. And now that everything's kind of coming full circle, and all of a sudden people are going back to going digital only, I think it's kind of interesting, because Shnickerman himself in the Xbox Live era would buy digital only games because it was just the only way to get them. And now I think I still don't really like digital only games, but I do like the way that Xbox, at least like once you download it to your hard drive, and then you have access to it as long as that hard drive doesn't get wiped out. But then there was a lot of people's accounts that they lost all their arcade games in the past that were not backwards compatible, and people changed accounts and things like that. So it does make me a little bit sad, but I'm happy that I luckily have all of my stuff together. All right. So now, in this month that I've been super busy, what have I actually been playing? What have I actually been doing? So most of the gaming is boiled down to 2 or 3 games that I've been playing. My Xbox One I haven't really been touching because, like I said, my in-laws were around, just wasn't something I could do. but I was gaming a little bit before bed occasionally or here and there on trips, etc. So what I was able to play is I decided to break out the Vita. I've had my Vita for a long time. There's a few select games I've played. I think Dragon's Crown I beat, Persona 4 Golden, I'm at the very like final boss in that game, and maybe only one other Vita game that I've played a little bit, and that was Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, which I had an imported version of the Japanese, or an imported version of the Asia English version of the game. So I played that, and you guys know I love Digimon, so I kind of went to go clean up some trophies and things like that. So I had a lot of fun with that. That game is very grindy end game, but it was kind of a fun game to pick up here and there. Got a few more trophies. Dropped it for a little while because it's just really grindy. There's like a trophy that you have to get all of these medals, and it's pretty much RNG, and it's really time consuming and boring. So played that for a bit. Then one game that I want to do a video about, which you will see someday because it will happen. There's something in my heart, and I don't know what caused it. I really have an attachment to Angry Birds. You might say, okay, Angry Birds, you know, that was like a mobile game and it was a big phenomenon. And the crazy thing is, I was thinking back on it and looking at the Wikipedia page, and they were still releasing Angry Bird stuff until like 2015 or something like that. And there were the original Angry Birds they kept adding updates to, right? And then there were all these different versions of it. And Angry Birds just got really complicated. So I was able to play some Angry Birds Star Wars, which they have on the Vita. And I was thinking it might be cool because the Vita on the back, a lot of people don't remember, but it's like a touch screen on the back. And I was like, oh, I wonder if you can like kind of like flick to shoot the Angry Birds. And you can, and the controls are not that good, but you can do it. So that's kind of cool. Got pretty invested in Angry Birds Star Wars. Just a lot of fun. Like, again, it's just one of those games where if you just got 10 minutes, you just play a few levels and you go through it. So look forward in some point in the future, some kind of Angry Birds anthology or history or something like that, because a lot of that Angry Birds history is kind of like lost to time now, because I think they made an Angry Birds 2 and then they discontinued Angry Birds 1. So I think there are still ways of playing it. There's like a free download online, and then also I think some of the console versions got some of the original stuff. But anyway, so I played a lot of Angry Birds. And then the other thing I was playing is the other Digimon game that they have on the Vita is Digimon World Next Order, which is like the original Digimon World game on PS1, but better. I got the Platinum Trophy on the PS4 version. Took me a really long time, but I really like the game. Really frustrating, and I decided to pick up the Japanese version and play it again, so it's kind of like a fresh start and everything. I'm having fun with that. I don't know any Japanese, and it's kind of a pain, but I do really like the game, and I wanted to re-experience the beginning of the game again, and that has been actually pretty fun. And even the beginning of the game is quite a bit of a grind. So I think I'll kind of slowly be playing through that. And I think I might switch back to Super Mario Odyssey in the future for handheld, just to kind of like palate cleanse a little bit. But that's kind of what I've been gaming lately. And then another blast from the past. So this is kind of crazy. I might have to do a video about it as well. They had this thing, I think it was called Project Spark. It was on the Xbox One. I remember around the time I got my Xbox One, it was like a free-to-play game. It basically generates environments, and then there are all these like choices that are also like automated, and you can choose between a few different options, like which character you start with, which boss you fight, and all this different stuff. It's a pretty interesting game, and it's not available anymore. And they had like this free DLC that had like Conquer in it. And I remember when they originally showed the trailer for it, people were freaking out because they thought that there was going to be a new Conquer's game, and literally it's just like Conquer in another game. So it kind of follows the rare replay trend here, but I've been picking that back up again, kind of just to play here and there. I really like this idea of like these games that are lost to time, and like if you don't have a hard drive that has this game on anymore, it just doesn't exist. So it's kind of cool, and it might be fun to do a video about, to just kind of show people what it's all about. And yeah, that's pretty much what I've been up to. Oh, I played a little bit more Digimon Survive, which is another Digimon game I didn't 100% yet that I'm kind of getting to in another playthrough. So that's what's been going on. And I want to say, so with the house coming in, there'll probably likely be another decent gap in time. Hold tight. There's some long-term videos I've been working on that will be coming out fairly soon. I'm going to try to go back to the like 10 to 20 minute podcast vlog thing that I've been doing, just to kind of keep the YouTube channel consistent for a little bit. And I like where that's going right now, so we're going to do that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I totally lost my train of thought. This is kind of how YouTube... Oh, the house. So once the house gets set up, I will be setting up like a sort of game room. So what I'm thinking about doing, and you can let me know in the comments if this seems like a cool idea, but I'm going to try to just document the game room from zero. And I'll be, you know, maybe doing like a weekly or a monthly video that's just like, hey, this is what I did this week, or what do you guys think about this kind of update? Should I put a shelf here? Should I do something else? Oh, I want to paint this. Or like, oh, what kind of displays should I set up? Like, should I have a Digimon display? Should I have like a Street Fighter display? I think this kind of stuff will be really fun for me, especially at this point in my collecting and gaming experience. Is like, I want to really focus on the things that I do enjoy. I don't want to just have like a little bit of everything. It's like, oh wow, I really like Final Fantasy. Let me make some Final Fantasy focused stuff. I really like Digimon. Let's focus on that. Like all the things that I like the most, Halo, and all this different stuff, Xbox in general. So look forward to that, and I think it'll be a lot of fun, and hopefully you guys will tune in for that and enjoy it. And yeah, until the next video, guys, peace out.